Hi, this is Paul Palmer. Today I want to talk about priorities. Now, yesterday we talked about a similar topic really, about setting prioritizing the activities that you have in a work situation. But that's not the only thing that we have to contend with, is it? What about your own personal priorities, your own work-life balance? If you focus 100% all the time on the priorities you have in the organization that you work for, what happens to your own personal life? What happens to your spirituality? What happens to the way you feel, the way you move on, I suppose, from one task to the next? If you're always 100% focused on the job in hand, the work you do, the tasks that are set, the activities there, where does that leave you with the rest of your life? Because we all move on. We move from one job to the next, whether we like it or not. Whether it be promotion into the next role or moving on to the next company. Think about, there's one constant in that life, isn't there? For you, you are the constant. The companies you work for will have you, then they'll maybe have somebody else and somebody else in that same role. But if your priorities are set consistently, 100% based on what's happening in that role, how do you grow? How do you expand? How do you improve your own education? The priorities that you set are based really on your values and beliefs. Now, for a long time, my values focused on provision for my family. And in providing, I believe in some cases, I made a decision to focus on the work so that I could provide the funds for the food, for the accommodation. But that's not everything, is it? What about the time that they missed because I wasn't there? What about the time spent with the family? Well, I did change my values some time ago, maybe 2 years ago. Or should I say, I actually considered my values rather than just going, rather than just doing. I started thinking about what my priorities were and why. It was part of a course that I did with a guy from America who actually, he was in Canada and he was from somewhere in the Middle East, I believe. And one of the tasks was to set your own values. And I realized I didn't have any. Or should I say, they were subconscious, not conscious. And I wasn't making decisions based on the direction that I wanted things to go. I was just doing what somebody else wanted constantly. So as I changed and I focused on my own values, I realized that actually giving them the priority was meaning I was doing a worse job for them. And I'll explain what I mean by that. You see, one of the core values that I've now pushed to the top of my priority is health. As you get older, you often think about your health and you think about longevity and what happens next. But as you're younger, you don't think about the impact the decisions you're making are having on your long-term health. It often takes something to happen to actually even consider your own health. And I had a few things happen, but not really worked out how to deal with them. For example, bending over and not being able to stand up afterwards. It seems a common problem with lower back, doesn't it? But how do you fix it? Well, people say, oh, it's just because you're getting old. But it's not. It's because of the decisions you've made. So what I've found is that driving less, so in that one constant position, I was doing 4 hours a day, just driving, as well as the time sat during the day. It doesn't really help your back. Your lower back strength reduces. It's constantly supported. Your hip flexors contract. And they don't support your lower back. So you lean forward without any core strength and you get a pain in your back. So I've changed my values. My values now are health first, because if I'm not healthy, I can't look after my family and I cannot deliver the service to my clients either. If I can't move around the house, go onto the computer, visit their site, how can I be a QP for batch release? My pharmaceutical clients rely on me being able to do the job. What's going to happen if I can't? And that's why I would like to challenge everybody to consider your own values. What do you value most? What do you put first? So the values that I've thought about are health, my own personal health, my family, wealth, which of course is delivering the service to my client, and then others, supporting other people. Now, I'm not saying that you should have it in that order or even that those are your values. Maybe you think more about some local charity that you work with. Maybe you value somebody else's health above your own, but maybe it's subconscious. So what I would like to suggest is that you consider your own values and consider them in the context of living, in the context of the work that you do, whether that be for a company or whether you're providing a consultancy service like I do to the pharmaceutical organizations, manufacturers, distributors. Actually, it's not just pharmaceuticals anymore. There's medical devices as well who need just as much support, because diagnostics is a really important part of the industry that we're in. Without the diagnostics, how do you know what the treatment's going to be? And the skills are transferable. Who wants a quality management system? Well, the device people do. The diagnostics do. Pharmaceutical manufacturers do. Pharmaceutical wholesalers do. It's all transferable skills. And actually, the knowledge you gain by having transferable skills actually helps you deliver better service. At least that's what I find. So I'm going to leave you with that for now. Think about your own values and the way that your values influence the priorities and the decisions you make. And the bit that you can't see in the image behind me is actions that you take. So really, you should set the values. The values drive your priorities and your decision making, and then your decision making results in the actions that you take. But those actions may impact your values. Of course, you've not got the check in the PDCA cycle there, but it still works, I think. Okay, that's it for me for today. That's Paul Palmer, talking about your priorities and your values. Hope you find it useful. And I'd appreciate it if you actually give me some feedback, because this is slightly off my normal topic. And if you like this type of discussion, content, training, highlighting, I don't know what you want to call it, let me know what you think. Maybe you can send me a link to your video that you post on your profile and link to it in the comment even. It'd be quite nice to get some responses. So that's it for me for today. It's Paul Palmer. I'll talk to you soon.